Guys, now please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Guys, all of you, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. All of you get my voice on screen, guys. Those who are attending in online, am I audible? Guys, now please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online, am I audible? Right. Right, sir. Now check it. What we completed there in the last session. I think we are discussing about exception handling. In exception handling, then try, catch, finally. These topics here we are understanding. Try, catch, finally. Topics here we are understanding. Right, sir. Now I'm going to ask some questions to you. Now try to answer for it. In Java, what is an exception? Now tell me, all of you know. Simple statements. I don't require lengthy statements. No, simple statement. Exception is what? Unexpected event occurred at what time? Runtime. Causes, provides abnormal termination to the application. What is abnormal termination? Terminating the program execution in the middle. Okay, right, sir. In how many ways we are able to handle the exceptions in Java? In two ways. What are the two ways? No, by using throws keyword, and second one is what? Try catch. Finally, what is the functionality of the throws keyword? Come on, it bypass the generated exception from present method to the caller method. Right, it bypass the generated exception from present method to the caller method. That's the meaning of like what there? Throws keyword. All right, so throws keyword is not really an exception handler. Throws keyword is really an exception handler. Just simply it bypass the exception to caller method in order to handle. Just it is bypassing, that's it. It is not handling the exception really. But who is the real exception handler in Java? Try catch finally. In a try catch finally, three blocks are available. First to try block, if you understand it. What type of instructions are included inside the try block? Now tell me. Tell me what type of instructions are included inside the try block? Doubtful code or maybe risky code. A risky code or a doubtful code, some sensitive code, whatever it may be, all are equal. Doubtful code. What is the meaning of this doubtful code? Where developer is having a doubt about to raise an exception, where developer is doubtful about to get an exception on that particular lines of code. That any sections we are going to keep inside what their try block. Is it required to keep the total program inside a try block? Not required. Which instructions we have to keep? Only the doubtful code we have to keep, which may or may not raise an exception. Still it is doubtful code. May rise, may not raise an exception. Is there any guarantee of generating an exception from try block? Is there any guarantee to get an exception from try block? No guarantee. Try block may rise, may not rise the exception. In the case, if no exception is available inside the try block, if no exception is available inside the try block, then JVM will go to what block? Their next one directly, finally block by skipping what? By skipping catch block. If you have an exception in try block, then JVM will go to what block there directly? Catch block by skipping the later instructions inside the try block. By skipping the later instructions inside the try block, JVM will go to what there? Catch block. Understand it now. Right, so the total flow of executions are given clearly. All right. One minute. Hello, hello. All right, sir. Now tell me, what is the purpose of the catch block? The main purpose of the catch block is to catch the exception from the try block. All right, to provide an exception, details in console. What is the main intention of the catch block? No, catch the exception from try block and provide the exception details on what their console. Nice. In how many ways we are able to display the exception details on console? In 3 ways. What are the 3 ways? No, by using print stack trace method, by using system.out.println of exception, by using get message method. Print stack trace method is able to provide the exception details like exception name, exception description, and exception location. Print stack, that means system.out.println method will display the exception details like what? Exception name and description of the exception. Get message will display the exception details like what? Exception description. Yes, sir. All of you are getting these points or not? Okay. Up to this we completed. Now I want to show an example on the basis of print stack trace method, system.out.println of exception, and get message method. Let's see this one. All right, sir. Now have I prepared any applications here previously about this? No, advanced Java is not created, right? All right. All right, sir. Now, right, so now advanced Java, app01, IntelliJ, it's okay, fine. This window. All right, sir. Now all of you observe carefully. Now I'm going to take try block. Now inside this here we are going to take what the catch exception e, then where e dot print stack trace method. For this here we have to take what the finally block. For example, now inside this try block float f is equal to 100 divided by 0. What are given there? 100 divided by 0. What is this 100 divided by 0? What exception it is able to provide? Arithmetic exception. Please remember it. In Java program, if any number is divided by 0, automatically there we are able to get an exception. That exception is what there? Arithmetic exception. Whenever we are getting an arithmetic exception, flow of execution will come to what there? Catch block, catch exception e. Then here we displayed e dot print stack trace method, one line space. After that, system.out.println of e dot get message. No, not like this. First of all, here I have to provide what there? E. All of you understand one conclusion. If I pass any reference variable as parameter to system.out.println method, internally toString method will be executed. In exception class, toString method is available. It will return a string that contains name of the exception and description of the exception. Yes, sir. I'll forget my point or not. All right, sir. Now here we can understand this is almost equal to system.out.println of e dot toString method. This is going on internally. Okay, now next one more line here I'm going to provide. After this, system.out.println of e dot get message method here I'm going to use. Right, sir. First one is print stack trace method. Then after this, next one is what there? System.out.println of key. Next one is system.out.println of e dot get message. That's it. My intention is what there? I want to display exception message in all the 3 ways. So that's my main intention here. Let me run this program. If I run this program, here we are getting some messages. No, observe carefully. Right, just let me execute it once again here. I think in a different way we are getting this one. Yeah, now this is I'm expecting. Now try to understand it clearly. If you observe the first exception message, no, name of the exception we are getting description of the exception, location of the exception. All three details are provided with what? With what? E dot print stack trace method. All three exception details are provided with what? Print stack trace method. Next one is second exception message here. What we are getting there? Name of the exception, description of the exception. This we are getting with what there? System dot out dot println. That is internally two string method execution. Next one after this, system dot out dot println feed dot get message. Then it is providing only what there? Description of the exception. Here we are getting only what there? Description of the exception. That's it. This is exactly the point here what we provided here. Okay, example here I provided. Output values also I am going to provide. Now try to understand it clearly. Right, sir. So this is exactly the meaning of like what block here? Catch block and its related information here I have given. What block here we provided here? No, catch block. Try to understand this catch block content. That's okay, fine. After completion of this catch block, now what next one here we have to understand there? Finally block. What is it next one here? Finally block. So what is this finally block? What we are understanding about the final block? Finally block. Observe carefully. Simple example. In Durgasoft, we are conducting the classes. There is a rule in Durgasoft. Maybe classes are going on completely, but in some days holidays are going on. Some other days are working days. Working days and holidays both are going on there. But still, Durgasoft office is always in open. Really, 365 days, that office doors are not going to be closed. They are going to be in open. So if you want to get any administration kind of things, no, our office is always open at any time, on any holiday also, on any working day also, we can come there and we can get your required information. That's the standard what we are maintaining at Durgasoft. Understand it now? Means that what is guaranteed one? Durgasoft office is guaranteed one. Classes may be happen, classes may not be happen depending on the days. Understand it now? Similarly, in our Java program, in our try catch finally, whether you are going to get an exception try block or not, whether you are going to execute catch block or not, that doesn't matter. Finally block will be executed. This is mandatory. JVM will execute finally block mandatorily, irrespective of executing the total try block, irrespective of executing the catch block. Understand my point? Only finally block is giving guarantee for execution. No other block is giving guarantee for execution. Finally block is giving guarantee for execution. That's the intention of the finally block. Now the point is what? Finally block is able to include a set of instructions. Finally block is able to include a set of instructions which must be executed by JVM, which must be executed by JVM, irrespective of getting an exception, irrespective of getting exception in a try block, irrespective of getting exception in try block, and irrespective of executing catch block, irrespective of executing catch block. All of you answer for it, no? Finally block is able to include a set of instructions which must be executed by JVM, irrespective of getting exception try block and irrespective of executing catch block. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity on this point, no? All right, sir. But what type of instructions we are going to keep inside the finally block now? Now, first of all, answer for my question. Try catch finally. Out of these three blocks now, which block is giving guarantee for execution? Finally block. I think all of you understood this point here. Okay, fine. Listen carefully. All of you, observe carefully. In Java applications, we will use the resources like streams, database connections, network connections, and so on as per the requirement. Yes, sir. In Java applications, as per the requirement, you may use some resources like what are the streams, like input stream, output stream, buffer data, buffer writer, all these are streams. Database connections, JDBC, we are going to see that connection interface connection object. Network connection, socket programming, sockets, and so on as per the requirements. Okay. While performing operations with these resources, we may get exceptions. While performing operations with the streams, if it is a stream, for example, while writing data to the stream, while reading data from the stream, my point here now. So we may get some exceptions, right, sir? While performing operations with the resources, we may get exceptions. Here to handle the exceptions, if we use try catch finally, then we must provide all resources closing operations inside the finally block. Please, all of you read out the statement what I've given there, especially what part here, no, this part. Total paragraph we have to read, try to understand it, no. In Java applications, we will use the resources like streams, database connections, network connections, and so on as per the requirement. While performing operations with these resources, you may get exceptions. Here to handle the exceptions, if we use try catch finally, then we must provide all resources closing operations. Remember one point. If you want to use resources, we have to open the resources. Then we should do operations with that resources. At the end of the program, we must close the resources. Closing resources is mandatory. If you're not closing the resources now, then there is a security problem. Some security problems here we are able to get. Say for example, if it is a database connection, I opened the database connection, I have done some operations with my database, but I forgot to close it. When we forgot to close it now, somebody else will enter into my database. Somebody else may perform modifications on my database. So after completion of my database operations, what is mandatory? Closing operations are mandatory. Otherwise, you may get some damages. Yes, sir, got my point or not? I think some of you are attending these AWS classes. Am I right? Any of you are attending AWS classes? Nobody? DevOps. At least full stack Java people, you must attend for it. AWS. Yeah, if you are not attending, it's unnecessary to take that example. Okay, leave it. Now let's move to the point here. Now, what I'm trying to say now, if we take that AWS account there, Amazon Web Services account there, some instances or some services we are able to get with a free tier. Nearly 70 hours of time is a free tier resources we are able to use with the free of cost. Am I right or not? Okay. But what in general people are doing the mistake now, they will open AWS account, they will start the services, some instances they are going to start, maybe some database instance, maybe server instance, maybe some Linux instance, maybe whatever it may be, some instances we are going to start. Whenever their work is completed, 1 hour of time we have used that all the instances, no, might be your work is completed. What people are doing there, simply as per the habituation, directly window close button is there now, at the right side topmost corner, close button, directly close that AWS window. Just we are going to shut down our system, we are going to finish it. But what happened internally, already we started some services there, right? That services are running internally. Say for example, if you are using paid resource, Not free resource, paid resource we have used there. We start that paid resource. Understand my point here now? If without stopping that resource, without terminating that service, if we close your window and if we shut down your system, but internally in a cloud that service is running. It's a paid resource actually, paid service actually. So for that also the cost is going to be happen. Maybe after 1 week of time, again if you open that your system there, if you observe this, during this 1 week of time, the bill is going to be generated. And month end we are able to get that bill in the form of dollars. Real, I'm telling there, almost all 3 to 4 years back, before pandemic, I had one real instance for it. What is that real incident? No, one student came to me. One student came to me, then he asked there. By the time, unfortunately, I've taken some AWS demo class. I've taken one AWS overview class, and one weekend I've taken it 4 years back, I think so, before pandemic. I took that class actually. He attended that class. As per my JDBC programs practice or maybe web application practice, just he has used the AWS paid service. Inside the class, what happened? If it is a free service, no. If it is a pre-tier service, no. Maybe it is taking a bit more time. That is somewhat delayed service we are getting there. Because of that reason, I've taken paid service. I know that. I started that paid service and I closed that paid service. Maybe it's a matter of like what there, $5 is a payment that I charged, that I got the charges now. That I paid, it's okay. That is up to me. But the same student has started that paid service there by watching my total content. He started that paid service. Almost 1 month of time he forgotten to stop that paid service. Then after that, on month end that bill was generated. I think so he got nearly, maybe I forgot it exact value there, but it is in the form of thousands. Thousands, maybe 1 month or more time, I didn't remember it. In the form of thousands he got there. Then I like 40,000, 50,000 like this, he got that payment. Directly came to me, sir, I understood. I'm watching your regarding this demo class on this AWS, but I started this service. Now they are sending the payment like this. They want to go for legal opinion like this. Then what we have to do by the time? How we are going to deal with the AWS people? Really, understand it now? Yeah, actually what happened there in that AWS, right, sir? Right, sir. Please inform whenever your AWS DevOps class are going on now. Okay, sir. Good. Right, sir. Then what happened there? Observe carefully. What happened there? Then myself and that person with the behalf of his mail ID there, we send mail to the AWS team. Sorry for this. This is unfortunate. Then we didn't remember to stop that service. We have not consumed the daily service like this. We have given some pair of data there. We submitted there. They accepted that request and they reduced some amount of money. Nearly almost all 25% might be they reduced in that. The later he paid that payment. Then after that he has given a namaskar to me. Then he went out. The point is what? See here, what is mandatory there? You can use AWS, no problem. You can open the AWS account. Actually, because of that particular reason only, in our classes, I didn't show how to execute the programs, everything through AWS account. Not required. Java software is not required in our computer. Nothing is required. Just a computer, browser, internet connection. That's sufficient. I can do anything with a cloud. That I can do. Everything I can do. Even database installations also be not required. Java installations also be not required for me inside my computer. There, everything I can do in the cloud. But I'm able to show that. But the point is what there? How many of you are going to terminate that resources after completion of a practice? A doubtful case. Then you may get some very good charges there now. That is the reason why I'm not even touching that particular point here. Previously, I planned for it actually. Okay, but anyway, leave this one here. The point here, what I am telling to you, the point here, what I am telling to you regarding that, observe carefully. In this process, what is our related content here? We can start the AWS services, no problem. We can consume the AWS services, no problem, as per our requirement. But at the end, what we have to do? We have to terminate the AWS services. We have to close the AWS services. Your termination is mandatory. If you are not terminating that, what we are going to do now? Automatically, the charges are going to be applied. In the same way, if we use any resource in our Java application, like a stream maybe, like a database connection maybe, like a socket connections maybe, whatever it may be, if we take, if we take any resource there, we can open it, we can work on it, but at the end of the program, you must close that resource. If you are not closing that resource, some security problems will come. Some memory leak problems are going to be happen. To overcome this problem, it is mandatory to close the resources. But to handle the exceptions with the resources, we are using try catch finally. Out of this try catch finally, which block is giving guarantee for execution? Finally block. So now tell me, what is the right area to provide my close operations of the resources? No, finally block. Inside the finally block, we have to provide for their close operations of the resources. That's the reason why then we must provide all the resources closing operations inside what block? No, finally block. Why? Because reason I'm telling here, why? Because finally block finally block is giving guarantee for execution, is giving what? Their guarantee for execution. Because of that reason, close operations here we have to provide inside the finally block. That is a use case of the finally block, what in general what we are going to use. Leave this punch here. Totally I completed try, catch, finally. These three things here we completed. All right, sir. Now I'm going to show one example, simple example. Now try to answer for this example. On the basis of the flow of executions of this try, catch, finally, everybody has to give some answer for it. All right, sir. Now, first of all, inside the main method, system.out.println of before try. What you are providing there? Now tell me before try. Now, system.out.println of inside a try before exception. System.out.println of inside a try after exception. I want to remove this total content here, not required. Just a simple SOP statement I want to provide. Now system.out.println of inside catch, then after this system.out.println of inside finally, system.out.println of after finally. As it, just observe this coding part here. Tell me what exactly the output we are able to get from this program. Okay. What exactly the output here we are getting there? First one is what there? Before try, sure. Next one is what? Inside try, before exception, yes, confirm. What next one? Will you get the output like inside try after exception? Is this instruction is executable? No, not reachable. This instruction is not reachable. Nice. Right. Will you get any output like inside catch? Getting or not? Yes, definitely. Here we are getting an exception. Flow of execution will come to what there? Catch block, inside catch. Next. Inside finally, after finally, yes, definitely. These are the outputs here we are able to get. Now we need to execute this program. Now see that outputs clearly. Before try, inside try, before exception, inside catch, inside finally, after finally. They're the points here we have to understand. Right, sir. Now after completion of this particular content here, what next one? No, this is one example. Next example, all of you understand it. In the same example, what I'm going to do there, I'm not going to raise an exception. No exception is provided. And now here I'm going to provide like what there? Inside try. Now tell me, sir, what output we are able to get now? Before try is confirmed. Next one is what? Inside try. Then what next one? Inside catch. No. Inside catch. No. What next one? Inside finally. Then after that, after finally. Yes, we are able to get these values. Before try, inside finally, after try. After finally. Nice. This is a program here we are getting. That means it shows like what there? Flow of execution. Right. These are sufficient. These are like what there? The content here what we are providing. All right, sir. Now, observe carefully. This concept is sufficient. More than this is not required in advanced Java. But one small point here I'm telling to you, but it is required anyway. Try to understand it. No. Simple questions I'm asking to you. Now try to answer for it. Is it possible to write try block without catch block? Yes, but with a finally block. What's the question? No. Is it possible to write try block without catch block? Yes. With what block? No. Finally block. Syntax here I'm telling to you. Without a catch block, we can write it. Yes, valid. Is it possible to write try block without finally block? Yes, it is possible to write try without a finally block, but with a catch block. But with what block? No, catch block. Catch some exception A. Observe carefully. This is possible. Is it possible to write try block without catch and finally? No, not possible. Only try is not possible. Along with the try, either we have to provide catch block or we have to provide what there? Finally block. Nice. Is it possible to write a try with the catch and finally? Yes, possible. But remember it. First we have to write catch block. Next we have to write what there? Finally block. You should not interchange this try. Sorry, we should not interchange this catch and finally. Try block, finally block, catch block. If you write like this is invalid. Status is what there? Invalid. Now the conclusion here, what I am telling to you, all of you observe carefully. In Java applications, in a try, catch, finally, catch block is optional and finally block is optional, but along with the try, we must provide either catch block or finally block. Understand my point here? In a try catch finally, catch and finally blocks are what? Optional. But what's the condition here? Along with the try, we must provide either catch block or finally block. Got it or not? If you want to provide both catch and finally along with the try, then we must provide first catch block, then a try, then a finally block. Order is important. First catch block, then what next one? Finally block. So they are the cases here written. Status is like what they're valid that we can identify. No. Right. So next one, try finally is okay, valid. Try catch is also be valid. Now try catch finally is also be valid. But what is invalid? No. Try finally catch is invalid. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Okay. Remember, next point is important. Because of that point only, I'm discussing today this topic now. The next point is like what I'm telling to you. Is it possible to write try catch finally inside the try block, inside the catch block, inside the finally block? That's the question now. Yes, definitely it is possible. Right, sir. In Java applications, it is possible to provide try catch finally. It is possible to provide try catch finally inside try block, inside catch block, and inside finally block. It is possible to provide try catch finally inside try block, inside catch block, and inside finally block. Understand the syntax here I'm telling to you? Now catch exception key. The next one is what there? Finally block. Here, this is like what there? Try catch finally. It's okay. Observe carefully. Inside try block, we can provide try catch finally. Inside which block here we provided there? No, inside the try block. Okay. Of course, we can provide inside what block here? No, catch block also we can provide. But remember it, in outer catch block exception e, in the nested catch block again exception e is not possible. There we have to change the exception reference variable. Local variables should not be duplicated. Local variables must not be duplicated. That's why E1 here we have to pass. Next one is watch. See this one inside the finally block also here we are able to provide. Observe carefully. We can provide try catch finally inside the try block, try catch finally inside the catch block, and try catch finally inside what there? Finally block. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity in this point now? Right, clear? Right. After that, observe carefully. My required point is what? To go for this advanced Java, I need one point here. Try to understand it now. In Java applications, we will use the resources like streams, comma, database connections, comma, socket connections, and so on as per the requirement. Am I right? Already we have seen that point here. Good. While working with the resources, you may get the exceptions. While working with these resources, you may get the exceptions. To handle the exceptions, to handle these exceptions, if you want to use try catch finally block, then we have to use the following conventions. Please, all of you read this statement here, what I have given there. If you want to use try catch finally for handling the exceptions which are generated from the resources while performing operations with that resources, there we have to follow some conventions. All right, sir. What conventions here we are going to follow? What exactly the conventions here we are going to follow? Convention number one. All of you listen carefully. Declare all the resources before try block. Declare all the resources before try block. Okay. Create the resources inside try block. Create the resources inside try block. Fine. Close the resources inside the finally block. Please all of you read these conventions now. Declare all the resources before try block. Create the resources inside the try block. Close the resources inside what block? No, finally block. Let's see an example here. Anyway, programmatically I'm not going to show now. In IOSIM's topic, I will show programmatic view for this try with resources actually. All right, now let us understand this point clearly. All right, sir. Now I'm going to use this is try catch exception e finally block. This is my try catch finally syntax. I'm going to use some resources like what resources here? Say for example, stream buffer reader br is equal to new buffer reader. Right now this is a stream actually that we have to declare before the try block. Next one is database connection con we have to declare before the try block. Socket connection socket s is equal to new that we have to declare before the try block. Okay. First convention we completed. Declare all the resources before try block. We declared all the resources before what their try block. Nice. Inside the try block, create the resources. That means create objects for these resources. BR is equal to new buffer reader, new input stream reader. Then system.in. Don't ask me what is this buffer reader, what is input stream reader, what is system.in immediately. In the next concept, I will discuss about it. No, but wait for the content. Just meanwhile, we have to understand this is a resource, and simply its purpose is what there to take dynamic input from command prompt. To take dynamic input from command prompt, we are going to use what there buffer reader. That's the purpose only we have to understand. That's it. Don't think too much about this statement. No. Similarly, connection con. Again, I'm telling there. Just think connection is one of the resource that I'm creating inside the try block. Buffer reader is one of the resource that I'm creating inside the try block. That's it. Con is equal to driver manager dot get connection of 3 parameters here we are going to provide. Again, I'm telling there, don't think about it. What is driver manager? What is get connection method? No. In JDBC, I will cover that content here, but meanwhile, we have to think this is one of the resource. Fine. Next one is what there? S is equal to socket connection. S is equal to new socket of something else, localhost colon, comma, then some value, some port number. That's it. Like this here, we create the resources. Up to now, two conventions here we completed. What two conventions here we completed? First one is what there? Declare the resources. Next one is what there? Create the resources. Create the resources. Understand it clearly. All right. What is the next conventions are now? Tell me. Close the resources inside which block now? Finally block. Why the closing operations must be provided inside the finally block only? Come on. Why? Because finally block is giving guarantee for execution. Why guarantee is required for our closing operations? No. Security purpose. If you have not closed that resources, no, maybe security problems will come, security issues will come, maybe memory leak problem will come there. So many problems here we are able to catch. Because of that reason, here we have to close the resources now. Right. To close the resources inside the finally block, to close the resources inside the finally block, what we have to do there? Just simple, we have to use close method. Simple, we have to use like what there? Con dot close method. Simply here we have to use like what there? S dot close method. Yes, sir. I'll forget my point or not. Simply here we have to use like what there? Close operations here we have to provide. Okay, fine. But all of you observe carefully. Inside the finally block, we have written close methods or not? Br dot close, con dot close, s dot close. But remember, these close methods are again throwing some exceptions. These close methods are again throwing some exceptions. Br.close method is throwing IO exception. Con.close method is throwing SQL exception. S.close method is throwing what there? Some socket binding exception or maybe some network exception. I'll forget my point or not. These close methods are throwing what there? Some exceptions. But try block is a handler. Finally block is not a handler. Finally block is giving guarantee for execution. But these methods are throwing exceptions. But when these methods are throwing again exceptions now, we have to handle that exceptions or not? We need to handle that exceptions or not? As to handle that exceptions again here, what we have to do there, again inside the finally block, we have to use what there? Try catch finally. Now again here we have to use like what there? Try catch finally. Now here we have to provide like what there? E. Alright, so now exception E. We can provide that exception E is available inside the catch block but not inside the finally block. That's why now this E is not like what the duplicated. Now here I can use like what there? Print stack trace method. Guys, all of you understand it clearly? Inside the finally block, if you want to use close methods, we need to write again try catch inside the finally block. Then we have to write what their close method. So here, what is the point we have to observe carefully? In a finally block, to perform close operations, we have to use again try catch finally. Nested try catch finally, we have to write inside what block? No, finally block. Why? Because all close methods of the resources are rising some exceptions. Yes, sir. All of you are following the points now? Are feeling bored? Hmm? Important. You must require these concepts here. In this level, we have to understand. Then only you are going to understand the JDBC codes. Understand it, Kirno? Okay, fine. Now, observe carefully. With this approach, two problems are available. With this total approach, two problems are available. Problem number one. Listen carefully. Who has to write these closed methods? No. Who must write these closed methods? Developer. Developers must write these closed methods. Must write these closed methods. In the case if developer is forgot to write these closed methods, what will happen? Unfortunately, developer has forgotten to write these closed methods. What will happen? Resources are not going to be closed, but program is going to be completed its execution, but resources are still open. Security problems are still coming or not? Understand my point here? But close operations are mandatory or not? So, no guarantee for closing the resources. Developer may remember, may not remember. Understand my point here now? So here I require some automatic mechanism, automation mechanism. What is that automation mechanism there? You should not give close operations responsibility to the developer. If you give that close operations responsibility to the developer, he may remember, may not remember to close the resources. Problem is still available. So that's why what we want to do, we want to give the closing operations for the resources to the JVM internally. We want to give closing operations responsibility to whom? JVM internally. JVM must close the resources when it completes its try block execution. When it executes the try block totally, it has to close the resources. That responsibility I want to give to what there? JVM. So JVM will close it automatically. That automatic operation, automatic concept here I want to implement. Point number one. Point number two, observe carefully. Inside the finally block, because of this close methods, we have written what there again try catch inside the finally block. It seems is a bit confusion kind of code. Writing try catch finally inside the finally block in the sense again confusion oriented feature, confusion kind of content will come. But I want to simplify my code. I want to simplify my code. I don't want to write try catch finally inside the try, inside the catch block and inside the finally block. I want to simplify as much as possible. Right or not? So because of that reason, I want to go for an alternative. To simplify all these things, I want to go for what there? An alternative. Now that alternative is what? Try with resources. In other words, we may call it as what there? Auto closable resources. What is the alternative there? Try with resources or auto closable resources. What is the meaning of try with resources or auto closable resources? No. What is the meaning of try with resources or auto closable resources? No. Observe carefully. If you provide auto closable resources or try with resources now, where JVM should take the responsibility of closing the resources automatically when it is coming outside of the try block. When JVM is closing all the resources now, is there any requirement for me to close the resources explicitly? If JVM is closing the resources automatically, is there any requirement for the developer to close the resources explicitly? Not required. So we are going to avoid writing close operations. When we are not writing close methods inside the finally block, then what is the fun to write this finally block? No. What is the need of writing this finally block? We can avoid writing that finally block or not. So once finally block is removed there, no confusion code. Simply try and catch. That's simple. No confusion related code. No, just only we are going to write try and catch. That's sufficient. That's sufficient. That's easy to write the code now. No confusion code. It is a simple code only. Right, sir. These are the benefits we are able to get with what there auto closable resources or a try with resources option. Right, sir. Now let me give some clarity. No. Right, sir. Now observe carefully. If we use the above convention, to handle the exceptions which are generated with the resources, then we are able to get the following problems. What problems here we are able to get? Problem number one. Developers must write close operations. Developers must write close operations. It is not giving guarantee for the resources closing. It is not giving guarantee for the resources closing. The simple point, developer may remember, may not remember, or maybe some developers will write the close methods. Some other developers may not write the close methods. No guarantee for it. Number two, to write close methods. To write close methods. Inside the finally block, to write close methods inside the finally block, we must provide nested try catch finally inside the finally block. Why? Because close methods throws out some exceptions like IO exception. Close method throws out some exceptions like what there, IO exception. Next one is what there, after this IO exception, SQL exception, and so on and so on. So now here observe carefully. To write close methods inside the finally block, we must provide nested try catch finally inside the finally block. Why? Because close methods throw out some exceptions like IO exception, SQL exception, and so on. It will increase confusion to the developers. It will increase confusion to the developers. This is not good thing. It will increase confusion to the developers. All right, sir. Now the conclusion here I'm telling there, to overcome the above problems, we have to use try with resources or auto closable resources feature provided by Java 7 version. Auto closable or try with resources feature provided by which version here? No, Java 7 version. Right. What is the syntax of this try with resources now? Okay. Right, sir. Now before that, one point here I'm telling there. In a try with resources, feature, JVM will close all the resources automatically when it coming out from the try block, or when the flow of execution is coming outside of the try block. Okay. It is not required to write close methods explicitly inside the finally block. So we can remove finally block. Right. But if you have any other requirement of writing finally block, we can write it. Only for the sake of writing close methods, if you want to write finally block, no, we can remove it. It simplifies the code. Right. Now here I'm telling to you like what their syntax. Right. So now syntax of this try with resource here. Observe carefully. Try. Observe carefully. Parenthesis here we have to provide catch some exception name reference variable. Now here inside this try, inside this syntax here, what I am telling there, resource 1 semicolon, resource 2 semicolon, and so on and so on and so on. Resource n semicolon. That's it. Have you written any finally block? No, no finally block. Only try and catch. Inside the try, along with the try, parenthesis here I provided. Inside the parenthesis, I declared what the resources. I forget my point or not? All right, sir. One more point, one small condition. In the above syntax, all the resources must be auto closable resources. That is, all the resource classes or interfaces must extend or implement java.lang. Auto closable marker interface. Anyway, it's an internal content here, no problem. In Java, all stream classes are implementing auto closable interface. All database resources are implementing what their auto closable resources. No need to worry about it. But as a condition here, I'm telling to you, in Java, all the resources must be auto closable resources. That means in the above syntax, all the resources must be auto closable resources. That is, all the resource classes or interfaces must extend or implement java.lang. Auto closable marker interface. Auto closable interface. No need to worry about these marker interfaces. No, not required to understand. Clear? All of you are getting clarity on this? No? All right, sir. It's okay, fine. Now, example here I'm telling to you. Previously, one syntax here I given there for this. One syntax here we provided previously. All right, sir. Just give a minute of time. All right, sir. Now, one syntax here we provided. Now try to understand this clearly. Previously we have used this syntax. No, but I'm going to optimize the code here. Now see this. First of all, what we are saying there, declare the resources before try block you said to us, right? Remove all of them. Remove all of them. Create the resources inside the try block. Remove all of them. What I am telling now, along with the try, we have to provide parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, we have to provide buffer reader. Br is equal to new buffer reader of new input stream reader of system.in. That's finished. This is one resource. Next one is connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection of 3 parameters. We don't require all 3 parameters as of now. Socket s is equal to new socket. There we are providing some parameters here. 2 parameters are required. That's it. Now tell me where we provided these resources. No, align with the try inside the parentheses. They are auto closable resources. If they are auto closable resources, no, is there any requirement to close these resources? No, not required. We can remove them. Once you are not writing closing methods, no, is there any requirement to write try catch here inside the try finally block? Not required. Nothing is available inside the finally block. Is there any requirement to write finally block? No, we can remove this. Finish. My code is simplified or not? Now it is a simplified code or not? Moreover, is there any guarantee for closing the resources operation or closing of the, is there any guarantee for resources closing? Yes. Who is performing that resources closing? JVM is performing that resources closing. Is an automatic operation or not? Automatically JVM is performing closing operations. Automatically JVM is performing what their closing operations. No. Are you getting it or not? So this is exactly the meaning of like what their auto closable resources. Definitely in my JDBC programs, first I will show program with the throws keyword. Next I will show program with the try catch finally. After that, the same program I will show with what there try with resources. Once if I introduce try with resources now, max applications I'm going to prepare with the try with resources only. I'm not going to close resources every time. In every program, I'm not going to write con.close method, st.close method, rs. No, this kind of code I will not write. I will write only try with resources. Automatically, all close operations are going to be performed by JVM automatically. Right, sir. This is the clear-cut analysis here we have to understand. Okay, clear. All right, sir. Then totally exception handling related fundamentals here we completed. What we required in JDBC up to that point here we completed. Overall, only 3 topics here I covered here. Introduction part invites the basic introduction. What is an exception? What is the meaning of exception handling? Then how to handle that exceptions? Okay, fine. Mainly I concentrated on what there throws keyword. Next one is a try catch finally. Next one is what there try with the resources. That's it. Everybody must aware about these concepts now. Next one is, after that, IO streams related topics here we have to understand. IO streams related content here we are going to understand. Okay. Now tell me, before going to start this IO streams, no, just small definition, introduction part only. Tell me, what is a stream? What is this stream? Whenever we are talking about streams, listen carefully. When we are talking about streams, remember one example. If we observe our home, for example, your home, top of the home, water tank is available. From where that water is coming? Municipal pipeline. That municipal pipeline is available where? At bottom, at ground. Yes, sir. Am I right or not? Okay. When water tank is available at top of your house there, from that water tank, that water will be dispatched to various locations at our house. For example, kitchen room, for example, washroom, for example, like this. That water is coming dispatched to different locations at our house. Got it or not? Understand it, no? At early morning 5 o'clock, when water is coming to the municipal water pipeline, then we have some intimation at 5 o'clock or maybe at morning 6 o'clock, water is coming. Nice. When water is coming here, immediately what we are going to do? We will start engine or not? We will start that motor, right? Water motor, right? Then we will dump that water from municipal water pipeline to our like water tank, which is there at the top of our house. Got it? Okay. To dump the water from municipal water pipeline to water tank, we are using one pipe or not? On a big pipe here we are using or not? Remember it. Once water is stored at our water tank, later on we are going to dispatch that water to the kitchen room, for example. How that water is dispatched to the kitchen room? No. Again, there also we require one water pipe or not? Understand my point here? There also we require water pipe. This water pipe is acting as a stream. That water pipe is a stream, not like any other content. What that water pipe is doing? Water pipe allowing the water in a continuous flow. Water pipe is allowing water in what flow there? Continuous flow from water source to the water tank. Understand my point here? From water tank to kitchen room, continuously that water is coming. Water flow is going on continuously. Got my point or not? So that pipe is nothing but a stream. Pipe is nothing but a stream. In the same way, in Java also, stream is a medium, or stream is a channel or medium, which allows the data in continuous flow from input devices to Java program, from Java program to output devices. Think of it, water tank is a Java program. Water source is coming from municipal water pipeline. This is input device. From input device, the data is coming to the Java program. Right. When the water is available at your water tank now, that water is dispatched to the kitchen room. That means that Java program is delivering some data to what their output devices. Kitchen room is what their output device. Understand it clearly. Now the definition of the stream is what there. Stream is a medium or a channel. Stream is a medium or channel. It allows the data in a continuous flow from input devices to the Java applications and from Java applications to the output devices. Right, sir. You should not ask any question to me, sir. Tell me examples for input devices and tell me examples for output devices. There's a minimum computer science, sir. A minimum computer. If you know the computer, easily we can recognize it. Anyway, for the sake of my satisfaction, now tell me, what are the examples for input devices? No? Input device. Keyboard is input device. Then what next one? Mouse is also input device. Maybe network. From internet, we are getting continuous data, right? Network is also what their input device. Similarly, what are the output devices? No? Monitor, printer. Again, network. Network is acting as both input and as well as what their output devices. No? Right? They are the data sources. Data sources, input data sources, output data sources. Right or not? Listen carefully. Municipal water pipeline, where water is coming, we dump that water to the water tank through a pipe. Understand it clearly? That pipe is, that means that the water tank is what there, a Java program. Now water is flowing towards the water tank or not? Water is flowing towards water tank or not? That means it is inside the water tank, inside the Java program. Now data is coming from input devices to the Java program. It is inwards to the Java program. So the water pipe is called input to stream. That water pipe is called what there? Input to stream. Similarly, water is available at where? At water tank. From that water tank, water is dispatched to the kitchen room or not? That is, water is coming from water tank to output devices. That means there we require one pipe. That pipe is what there? Output stream. So there are two types of streams, no? Input stream, output stream. Or else, before that, one more classification. If you take, might be some houses there. Say for example, gated communities. If you observe there might be the residents will not take the gas through gas cylinders and all. Then gas pipe is available. Monthly bill will come. I think try to understand it. What I'm trying to say, no? In some gated communities, residents are not going to take the gas cylinders. They're having some gas pipe. Gas pipe. At a time that gas will come there to the way continuously that gas is coming there, but monthly bill is going to be available. Understand it? That means in a house, two types of pipes are available. One is what there? Water pipe. Second one is what there? Gas pipe. Get my point on it? In gas pipe, what data is flowing there? Gas is flowing. In water pipe, what is flowing there? Water is flowing. Similarly, two types of streams are available in Java. Byte oriented streams, character oriented streams. Byte oriented streams are able to allow only bytes data. Character oriented streams are able to allow only characters data. Understand my point? Bytes oriented data. Bytes data is what there? Binary data, zeros and ones. Character data is what there? Individual characters, ASCII values. Yes, sir. All of you get my point on. Byte oriented streams are able to allow the data in the form of bytes representation. That is, internal representation is what there? Binary representation. Character oriented streams are able to allow the data in the form of characters. That is what their ASCII values here we are able to get. Okay, right, sir. Again, byte oriented streams are divided into some types. Character oriented streams are also be divided into some other types now. Okay, that content I will discuss with the next class. Okay, right, sir. Now do one thing. A small request from my side. No, just leave tomorrow, then gap there. Then I'm not going to take the class here because I have to go for some outside regarding some personal hospital work there. Then day after tomorrow onwards, I'll continue the content. Okay, nothing, sir. Just no need to think about this hospital in the sense. Then I'm not having any too much big diseases now, right? The dengue fever, final test, I need to go there. It may take some time here. Then I have to come from some other place there, right? That's the reason why. Then give gap on tomorrow. Then day after tomorrow onwards, we'll continue the content. Day after tomorrow, I will go for this next point here. Then after that, we'll go for some other content. That's it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. We'll meet you tomorrow. Day after tomorrow. How will exception be handled in the first option where only try finally blocks are available? Ashish, internally default exception handler is available. It will take care about it. Whenever we are getting an exception, how that exception details are displayed, in the same way that exception details are going to be displayed. Internally, exception handler will take care about it. Ashish. Okay. Yeah, even the catch block is not required here. Or directly, a default exception handler will catch it and it is able to display that exception details on console. Yeah, that's the point we have to understand. Okay, right. Thank you.
In drive lab, we are writing the resources, sir. So, suppose the second resource is get an exception, then the below resources will not execute.
No, remember it always. Yeah, in try with resources part you are asking there.
We are writing 3-4 resources.
Suppose
we are network we are giving, IP address is wrong, then we will get an exception. The below resources will not execute.
Right, perfect.
Then it will close.
Then automatically it will come to what there final block.
Directly we are writing wrong finally block. We are not writing finally block.
Where we have written it, right? Only two things, no?
We are writing catch only.
Okay, try with resources part. Directly it will come to catch block. Yeah, if we have automatically what see the point is what, for example, three resources we have written. At second resource we got an exception. First resource is executed, means that resource is opened. Second resource problem is coming there. That means only one resource is opened, right? Then when second resource is giving an exception, it will come to what their catch block by closing that open resource, first resource. Third resource will not be open, right? Why? Because it has not executed. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Yeah, guys, then yeah, then that admission process, okay, fine. If you want to go for it, I'll give some numbers to you guys. Then it's not available with me. People are asking to me regarding this admission process here. Yeah, better to talk with our admin people, guys. Then I'm not responsible person for it. Just I'm going to give some number to you. Just we can contact with the number. Admin people will take care about it. Take these numbers, then our people will be in touch with you regarding this number. If something somebody else is asking about how much is the fees and how much is duration, just directly talk with our admin people there. Yeah, this is a number where our admin people are available. Directly you can talk with them. They will take care about it. Yeah, definitely. Then once these introduction class are completed, link is going to be private. The link is going to be changed. Maximum within 3 to 4 days of time, the link is going to be changed. Yeah, sure. Link is going to be changed within few days of time. Meanwhile, try to complete your admissions also. Okay, directly you can talk with them. I'm not responsible for this money related issues here inside classes now. Okay, directly you can talk with these admin people like this here. Okay, guys. For printing location, print stack trace method. Other than print stack location. No, I'm not aware about it. What is it? To display the location of the exception. In exception handling only these three methods only, but print stack trace method only. No other content is available. I think so, as per my awareness. For printing exception name and description, only exception and description. No? Yeah, Cessna doubted print of exception difference. Cessna doubted print of exception difference. It's mandatory to buy MacBook, not mandatory. Not mandatory. No need to buy that MacBook. No. Windows is sufficient. Resources will be closed before reaching the catch block in try with resources as exact lashes. Resources will be closed automatically when flow of execution is coming outside of the try block. Right. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on day of tomorrow.